podcast day. We're excited. We're digging out there. What have we got? Ooh, yeah.
Dude, it's fucking podcast day.
Let's get back to that time of when you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, and stew. I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. Podcast time. Hey, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want the exclusive details.
Hey, how we all doing? I'm not there. What's going on? I'm not on screen. Can people hear me? What's going on? I don't know. Twitch is wanting to be an absolute bastard today. Twitch is being an absolute bastard today. No idea what's going on. I'm here. They can see my big, beautiful moon face. Lovely. Awesome. How are we doing, everybody? We're doing better now that we're actually live. Oh my God. Well, apologies for the late start, everyone. We have been having some minor technical difficulties, but we seem to be there now. So enough of our bullshit. Let's get to today's guests. What do you reckon? We're running late. So I hope I'm going to say this name right. But look, we have what is possibly one of the most impressive symphonic metal bands to ever come out of Australia. They are very, very powerful music, very, very powerful band, incredible people from what I've heard. This is my first time talking to them, but you know, you hear things working in music. So, mate, let's bring them on. This is Antonamasia. How are we doing? Did I get it right?
all right.
Did I get the pronunciation right?
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Well done. Very good.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for jumping on this one. And again, apologies for the little technical difficulties that we have been having. But I think we're getting there. We're getting there now. I think I don't even know. This has been a bit of a mess today for some reason. So you're looking at it, the stream's there. Good. Please, if anyone's hearing this or there's any dramas, just fucking tell us what's going on.
Except for the fact that my mic was muted and no one told me. By the way, you'll catch it on YouTube.
We are there.
Absolutely.
Yep. Either way, we'll go on YouTube. It'll go on the podcast stream. So, yes. So we will. Let's get to the reason for the season. First up, we have the big old show coming up in February.
Yeah.
Moshfest on High Street.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big one. I think everyone's really excited for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what we'll do, I'm just going to post. Kyle, if you got that up, can you post the links in the chat or not?
I can't post it on my end now, unfortunately. I was trying to do that yesterday.
No dramas. Look, that's fine. We'll put them in. That's okay, guys. We'll put the links in the comments in the chat. We'll share it on the page as always. But yeah, look, if you're considering going to this show, absolutely, you want to do it. You want to go and get your tickets. This show is going to be fucking amazing. So many people from the music scene, like past and present, that have been involved in the scene over the last 15 years, coming together in old bands, new bands. It's just going to be a blast. There's going to be lots of old faces there. Almost, I'm looking at it, it's almost going to be like a reunion for the scene itself, I feel like, in a lot of ways. So yeah, make sure you get your tickets. We don't know how long they're going to last, so please make sure you go out and get your tickets.
There's only like 100 or 150 or something, so jump on that ship.
Yeah, numbers are limited, and from what I understand, they're moving, at a reasonable pace. So go and get them as soon as you can. You don't want to delay. You won't want to miss out on this, because if they sell out, there's not going to be any on the door. But yeah. So, yeah, you guys, thank you. Antonamasia, again, sorry, we sidetracked a little bit there. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking about this. How you feeling? You guys excited for this show?
Yeah. It feels, like you said, it does feel like a reunion. And, given the way that, the recent pandemic and everything kind of took a chunk out of the scene, it's going to be really good to get amongst everybody and rub some shoulders with some old friends and new ones. So, yeah.
Awesome. Like, I'm keen as fuck. I'll be honest with you. Like,
That's that's a better way of saying it and much shorter
we've
too.
we've been trying to look. Let me tell you. I mean, we've been trying to get this Tensions Arise reunion show off the ground since 2020. When we first started talking about it. And I noticed. I mean, this is jumping ahead a bit. We'll talk about the history of the band in a little bit, but I'm cutting ahead a little bit in things. But you guys like came back from a break, like right at the start of 2020, and yeah, it was like the worst timing for for something like that for bands to start doing stuff. I mean, we had like Tensions Arise. We got together and we had a rehearsal. And it was right as everything was starting to shut down, and no one knew how long things were going to be shut down for. Yeah. And it just kind of all went out the window. So I imagine you guys must have had a similar experience. With that.
Very much so.
So coming out of, how have you guys found? Because you guys have played some gigs, you know, sort of over the last little while. How have you found coming out of COVID into like the new world of gigs since then? How have you guys found that experience?
You feel free.
Yeah, please.
I think one of the things that I notice the most, even just when we're going out to support, you know, other bands, you know, that we're either friends with or that we're, you know, just going to see because we enjoy their music, whatever the case, like seeing the general vibe in there. People are really like pumped to be out. They're pumped to be in and amongst the scene again. And I feel like when we're playing shows too, that it's the vibe. It really is the vibe. Everyone seems a lot more, you know, willing to integrate and willing to hang out and talk to each other. Strangers are talking to each other. It's not as like, you know, maybe segregated or comfortable as it was before. Now everybody's like, you know, so excited to be in and around the scene again. It seems like it's building, which is awesome because it definitely took a hit over the last couple of years. Yeah,
it really did. I mean, I completely understand what you're saying about it feeling like everyone just seems to be glad they can be out at these things. Yeah, glad to be able to go out again. And look, even last year, I think when being up in Brisbane, like we were not as affected by stuff through sort of 2021, but the small numbers of people that would get sick would still be enough to disrupt everything. Venue capacities were down. Venues were reluctant to run shows. Bands were reluctant to commit to shows because you didn't know if a show was going to go ahead or not. Fans were reluctant to go out to shows when they were on because there's a risk of that there, and people were reluctant to even plan to go to a show because it might get cancelled. You know,
that's what we found. We got the opportunity to fill in because of a cancellation. So now, unfortunately, that was the major issue. You know, like last minute, everyone, you know, one person gets COVID, that's it, the whole band's out.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two shows back. So we did one show. I think it was July at the Mosh Pit, which is like, I don't know if you guys are acquainted with that venue. The nice cozy little diving sort of a bar.
It was snug.
Yeah, absolutely. But and we actually we played with Tomorrow's New Format, who will actually be on the Mosh Pit gig in February. Woo! So that was a really good vibe, and it was just really good, I guess, for us to reconnect with, you know, those fans that were with us back in the day. I mean, like way back in the day, you know, like between like 2006 to 2010.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's such a small room as well, like it was totally packed out. And yeah, to what Cassie's saying, like the vibe in there was so good. You know, you could probably say that maybe the venue itself is probably not built, you know, for a bigger size kind of bands, but it by no means diminished like the performance and just the vibe. It was really, really good. More recently, we jumped on a show at the Factory Floor, I believe, where we played. Floor. Yeah, and same thing, such a good vibe. They do a really good thing on Sundays, which is they call like the Sunday set lists, and you know, they use 2 or 3 stages there, and you know, apart from what's going on with the bands, just like the sort of like the beer garden, it's just it's such a cool sort of it's a great place for everyone to sort of catch up and just reconnect with music. So we've been really lucky to jump on those 2 shows, and it's really just the beginning. Like we have so many things kind of plans laid out that, you know, we really weren't able to execute during those 2 years of lockdown. We did a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot sort of coming up.
It's nuts. It is so nuts.
Okay.
Mm.
Awesome. And so look, let's have a quick chat then about the history of the band. So let's go back. Let's take it all the way back.
Back to the roots.
Yeah. Well,
From what I can gather, it goes all the way. The band goes back to what, 2008.
So we actually formed in 2003.
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, it's been a few minutes before we kind of started.
Apologies for all the drama, everybody. We seem to have it sorted now, so just gonna hope that this works and we don't run into any more issues. Kyle will have to have a look at his thing. Hey, Ganlord, thank you so much for jumping in the chat. First time chat. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us and being patient with us, everybody. We finally got it working. So, I don't know what you guys could hear before, what you couldn't hear before. So we had just started talking about the band's history, about the history of Antonamasia, and that it went back way further than I had any idea about. So yeah,
we were at 2003.
2003 is how far back the band goes. So give us the details. Come on, what was the story? What happened?
Oh, geez, the story. Well, which one? There's about probably at this stage 20 years of history. There's a bunch of stories. So yeah, I mean, and between 2003 to 2006 is kind of what the inception of the band was. When we first actually started, Cassie wasn't in the band. We were actually the rest of the lineup were the same, and the singer was actually our drummer's missus at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
And the sound and style was actually very different. It was more a, I guess, like a concept kind of group, and
it was very proggy.
Very proggy.
Yeah.
It was. I watched one of those clips last night. It was very proggy. It was completely different to you, Cass.
Mm.
In a good, yeah, it's just different.
And can I just say thank you so much for that, man. I watched that during my lunch break today, and yeah, really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh man, you guys have gone leaps and bounds, and yeah, Cass, you're a great addition to the band. I think you just started the band not long after I saw you guys the first time when we played that show together, and you were good then, and then you've only gotten better now.
Might have been Click. Click was so when we had sort of taken we kind of parted ways and gone off on our own adventures for a while. When was that? That was 2000.
It was about 2008 where we didn't really end the band per se. It's just sort of like we all kind of went separate ways and just did some separate things. And then it was around 2014 where Justin and I kind of regrouped with a couple of additional members. One being actually Click and Shane, they were in a previous band called The Vein back in the day. And then so it was between, I'd say, probably about actually 2012 to 2014 where we had that lineup. And then just for whatever reason we kind of didn't really pursue that further as well, creative differences, whatnot. And then, just probably 2018 is when the core lineup kind of got back together. When I say the core lineup, like, the original lineup from 2006 to 2008. So it's been a wild ride, to say the least. A lot of history.
Big shout out to Shane and Click, though. They are incredible people, incredible musos, and just great people. So
yeah, we had so much fun, and just a really great time getting to know those guys, and getting to do some really cool shows together. Recording some new music.
In 2014, I think I got the privilege to jump on stage again with the band with that lineup and perform one of the songs. So that was a bit of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really cool. So it's been sort of the current lineup that's performing at the moment, is that how much of that's original versus people that have joined?
All of it, totally.
All original. So the current lineup.
All the original members that recorded our debut EP, Keeping Nothing.
Okay. Awesome. So speaking of that, yeah. So the EP Keeping Nothing was 2012, or when did that come out?
Way before 2012.
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
2006. Okay.
Yeah. Long.
Put it this way: when we first kicked off in the early days, I was 15.
Wow.
I used to have to sit. I remember, like, we were playing a run of shows. I think by this time, I think I was around 17, but we were playing a run of shows, and had sort of gotten to the point where we were playing. I think where was it? The Gaelic.
Gaelic Club was
That was my 18th. We played there.
No,
My
that was
18th.
Excelsior.
Oh no, that was Excelsior. And so up until that point, we would load in, and then I would have to sit in the kitchen or
no.
places. So yeah, it was it's been a big adventure from both sides of the age situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been.
We're just chomping at the bit as soon as you turned 18. You got your
Oh
fish
yeah, oh yeah. And the owner of the Excelsior, I think, or the manager at the time, when it was my 18th, like, he was finally like, he was like, you can finally come out of the kitchen. Brought me some flowers and stuff.
Oh, that's so
Cool.
nice.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I miss the venues that were around. It's
back then, far out.
breaks my heart. Like, you used to be able to walk down the street in the city and you'd hear different bands every couple of doors down and just figure out where you wanted to go and go in and watch someone. But it's definitely changed. Yeah.
It certainly has. It certainly has. And I mean, the look, obviously COVID did no favors for venues, but I mean, Sydney, let's not pretend that that's what did it. I mean, Sydney was for venues well before COVID became an issue. Partly due to, changes in fan attitudes and fan approaches to shows, partly due to those ridiculous lockout laws that were brought in. Partly due to councils being chicken shit about people complaining about music venues that had been there for, pubs that had been there for 100 years and been putting on iconic gigs for 30, 40 years. And then people move into a fucking venue, area right next to a venue, and then they complain, oh, but there's music. There's music on the way that's loud. And I was like, yeah, well, the venue's been
You
there
should be so lucky.
The venue's been there for 40 years. Like, what are you complaining about?
Culture yourself.
And that really, that really should be the response. Whenever someone complains about that stuff, that should be the response from the council. But unfortunately, councils are chicken shit. Councillors want to get re-elected, and they don't want to stand up for this stuff. And money talks. And when you've got people, even at I don't want to get too political, but even at local levels, you've got people that they want to do what they need to do to hold on to power until the next election, so that they can stay in power. And that's for most of them, that's what it's about. Rather than actually serving their community. So anyway, let's don't want to get down that rabbit hole. And so
we got a whole section for that, right?
So what else? We do. But it's not yet, which is the important part.
Exactly.
So you guys did. There was Coming Apart Together. Is that that's another single?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was 2014 release.
Okay, yep, cool. And more recently, there's been a couple of other singles. So you had End Oblivion and Kinesis, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, funny thing about End Oblivion, and just talking about the lockdown, we recorded that, I don't know, I now memory escapes me, but it would have been maybe 2019 or 2020. It was just before the lockout laws started, because we had these grand plans of getting that single done, and then actually following it up with a show. So we were going to book a show. We were going to, bring probably some, bands from back in the day, kind of make it like a similar thing to what you guys are doing, I guess, for the Mosh Pit.
Yep.
We had like a whole, I guess, a 12-month kind of schedule on what we kind of want to do. And then, COVID kind of just got in the way of things. So we were able to get it out. We shot a lyric video because, again, physical video was not feasible at that point in time. But it was like it was still really good, like, to be able to sort of get it out online and again, just sort of, reconnect with old listeners, find new listeners as well. And moreover, just it was just a really good feeling to be doing fresh music with the core lineup, almost like, over a decade after we first initially formed. So, yeah, it was something.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, when sorry to cut you off there, Cole. Like,
no, you're all right, buddy.
When I was researching in the run up to today's stream, I did have a bit of a run back through the social medias and stuff, and I could see when 2020, when you guys updated the page, there was a definite stir. Like, the fan base was like, it was obvious that the fan base was like, oh wait, shit's happening. Like, you guys are. Yeah. Have we seen you guys again? Like, what's the deal? And I think like that's always refreshing to see. I think when you've been away for a while, there's that definite sense of, okay, do people still care anymore? What's is there going to be any interest in us coming back and doing more shows or more music? Are people going to want it? And I get, while you always want to do it for yourself first and foremost, that reaction is always very heartening. I find.
Absolutely, and super humbling as well.
Our approach, we were looking at it like while not sort of taking anything away from the past, but we were looking at this venture as a whole fresh thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. We're coming out the gate with new material, new sort of not a new sound, but it's sort of updated with.
Well, that's evolution, isn't it? You just got to evolve, especially. You guys have. I've said this in a couple of streams in my other ones, but COVID separated the players from the stayers.
Yeah.
As far as the music industry went, it separated the groups of bands that were like, nah, we're doing this, and the other ones that were just sort of doing it for fun, went off and found other ventures, and especially for bands, we rely on live shows.
Yeah.
The recording and all that cool shit's fun, but that's what we live for. We live for the live show. We live for the crowd. We live for the entertainment value that you bring to that stage every time. And when that got taken away from a lot of people, musicians had to find new outlets.
Yeah.
And they worked out very quickly that they didn't need to get on stage to fulfill themselves.
Yeah.
And that's...
Yeah. There's something that, I don't know, there's something magical that happens, I suppose. Like, one of the things, I was trying to explain this to someone the other day, actually, and one of the things that I kind of, the way I kind of described it to them was that when you're, like, you can record songs and you can put them out and people can still engage with your music and you can still be really proud of what you've done, and there's that, chance for them to connect with, something that's very deep and very personal to you. But when you're on stage and you're sharing that experience with them, it's a reciprocal thing. And there might be some people that might know the words, there might be some people that can just really feel what is in there, like really feel what's being put out. And it's the physicality of it too, like really inhabiting that energy, being able to like be a part of the same space and
connection
and experience something together. Like it's so special. And that was the most heartbreaking thing about, not being able to do that and not being able to share that with people. Because I feel it when I watch bands, and I they might be friends of ours, or they might be just bands we really love, or they might be just a band we've decided to go and check out to support the scene. And there's that vibe. It's like when you try and record it, when you try and take a video of it or something, you don't see that. You can't feel that in the video. You can't feel that in the, replication of that moment. It's an incredible thing to be able to do. It's a huge privilege. And, I really did feel for the bands that decided to call it in that time, because I would imagine that, for a more lighthearted kind of vibe, just kicking around doing it for fun, may not have been as heavy a decision. But for those who really loved it but they just didn't have a choice, it was a really, really hard time, I think. For
us personally, though, I think that us not making it through the pandemic was never a factor because of the amount of time and history that we all have. Like, we were all comfortable with the fact that, whatever time this takes, we're still all going to be here for each other when it ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys are nearly busting on 20 years. You guys are
Absolutely.
2003. So, like,
And I went to high school together.
wow.
We've known each other since I was 12, 13.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
you
crazy.
players in the stays, man. You're definitely the stays. It's
Yeah.
good to see.
I'll just give a shout out again. We got Ganlorth in the chat. Hell yeah,
Thank you.
Antonamasia managed to catch a couple of shows this year so far. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Ganlorth.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Kazzy's finally managed to get it working. He's up in the chat now.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Nice.
Gamla. Hey, Kazzy.
How we doing, Kaz? Yeah.
What's up, Kaz?
Well, that kind of covers a lot of what I was going to ask about, actually, because I was talking about. I mean, I was going to mention I've got on my list here. What was the reason behind sort of taking a break with things in various times, which you've kind of already touched on there. So yeah, I mean, the response since the return, as I said, on social media, it's been quite good. How have you found it at the shows? Has there been like good turnouts? Have you got a lot of people that watched you guys back in the day coming out to see you guys again? How's that reaction been at live shows for you guys?
It feels good, man. It feels like we're being received well. The first show that we played at the Mosh Pit, there were people there that we hadn't seen in 14 years. We had no idea they were going to come out, that they even saw it. We didn't even really advertise the show because, it was like a 2-week sort of lineup, right? Like
the last minute sort of
we
thing.
knew, we were filling in for a band that had to pull out. So we had 2 weeks to do it, and we thought, you know what, this would be a good test run.
Yeah.
We'll get out there and give it a crack, and I'm all surprised to see faces that we haven't seen in a long time, and new faces, and in the downtime, we've made good friends with a lot of local bands, and they were all there to support as well, and it was it was great.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Really, really.
Yeah, really good vibe.
It's always exciting when you experience that.
Yeah.
When you've got that there's those people that are going to come out and see you and that are going to support you like that.
Absolutely.
That's
And this time around too, I feel like there's a greater sense of community.
So let me ask you guys then, because this is something that I've experienced as well. Getting out there and playing gigs again after having some time, after being away for a while like that. How are you finding it in terms of a lot of the younger bands that are newer bands? Are you playing with a lot of them? How are you finding their attitudes towards things? Because I tell you what, something I've experienced is a lot of the newer bands that are coming in. You get in these people and they're like, they're like 20, 21, and their bands are just kind of starting out and they've only been going for like a year or two. They know so much more about the business than what any of us did at that age, and how the business operates and how to promote shows and how to do things. Are you guys finding the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a lot more of a kind of a focus and just a general interest in, of course it's all about making the music, but you also want to take it to that other level or that next level. And I think with the advancements of technology and how social media and just streaming services, the ability to sort of get your sound out there and kind of build this really great fan base, even not even before you necessarily do a show. I think it's awesome to see these younger bands and the motivation behind it, and that they're coming straight out of the gate professional, which is it's really, really great to see. When we played at the Factory, there were a couple of bands there actually that are pretty young bands. One of them have gone on to, I think they've reached the first heat of the
Which band are you talking about?
They're called Kerosene. I don't know.
Kerosene. Okay, sweet.
Awesome. Have they played that? Have they played that heat yet? I don't know.
I think they did, and they didn't. I don't think they made it through to the next round, but just to have that opportunity, they're incredible, and they're so young.
Well,
but they're just
gets the name out there. So shout out to Kerosene. Shout out to Kerosene.
Just real quick shout out to Ghost Complex for winning that first Sydney heat.
Yeah, nice. Congrats.
And to Lycanthrope for getting on as well.
Oh man, Lycanthrope is a fucking shit.
Onto the actual festival, so.
They are so good.
They're so fucking good.
that name is super familiar. Like, have they been established for a while, or are they?
They played
They've been
Wacken.
around. They did Wacken. They won the competition to the fest, like the Australia and New Zealand wide competition to go and represent Australia at Wacken this year.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We managed to get him on stream not long after he came back. It was really good.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
That's
Excellent.
awesome.
That was a good one.
Those guys are really cool.
Yeah.
So okay, so the Moshfest on High Street show coming up Saturday, 4th of February, High Street Social in Penrith. Go and get your tickets now.
If you watch yesterday's VOD, I have a quick, I do a quick walkthrough on how to purchase your tickets to go to Moshfest.
Oh, there you go.
Very
Even
nice.
better.
I like it.
Even better. And Kazi has been kind enough to secure some shirts, some t-shirts as well. So I've put those in the chat now.
Beautiful.
Which should make that nice and easy. So yeah, go and get your tickets if you haven't got them already, because as we said, we don't know how long they're going to last. And if you want a t-shirt, you have to order it before the 5th of December. Those new Tensions Rise t-shirts are going by then. So if they're not around by then, if you haven't ordered it by then, you're going to miss out.
You got to put conditions apply in there, Kaz.
So, but okay, so yeah, who? So this, I mean, this is a pretty solid lineup. I mean, there's so many impressive bands on there. Who are you guys? Is there any bands you guys are particularly looking forward to seeing?
Tensions arise.
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah,
Don't.
tension.
No one likes a dick rider, okay? Like no one likes a dick rider. Please.
I
Some
fucking
people
do.
I mean,
I do. Shit all day.
No, it's I mean, I'm super keen to see tomorrow's new format again. I really like what they're doing.
Big love, big shout out to Kiva.
Yeah,
Love
so
you,
all
Kiva.
They got a killer lineup. There's a lot of, like, if you put all those years of musicianship together, that's a lot of years in there. All those members.
Lots of experience throughout, and that band has a long history in Sydney's music scene there, so they're definitely something. I mean, most bands. I mean, look, I've seen obviously Red B. Like for me, it's like, you know, I can play with Red B a bunch of times, and Bury Me. I've seen Bury Me before as well. I don't think I actually crossed paths with you guys back in the day when I was in Tensions Arise. I can't recall Tensions Arise ever playing a show with Antonamasia back in the day. At least while I was.
I think the days we played together, I think might have actually been more 2014. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Buzz might have been playing back then.
Yeah, quite possibly had Buzz.
I think Buzz was
either Buzz or Tim. I mean, Armored Earth. I know Armored Earth are going to put on a fucking incredible show as well. Like that singer, I've known the singer for Armored Earth since back when he was in Scar the Surface. Before he was in Scar the Surface, then he went and did vocals for Frankenbach for a while. So that's an impressive fucking singer right there. And Mechanical Embrace, I've known the drummer from Mechanical Embrace for a very, very long time. Again, going back to previous bands for him, since back when he was in Foundry Road. I played in bands with him when I was in Acid Nymph. We played together. So, I mean, so many amazing ones. And there's still more to come, by the way. There's still more, at least one more band to come, I think. But it's absolutely, there's no way in hell it's going to be NazJap. No way in hell it's going to be NazJap. Those guys, AC keeps trying to fucking make it happen. AC keeps begging Kaz to be on the show, and Kaz is just like, it's not fucking happening.
Well, what's that?
Despite all the, despite all of the fucking, despite everyone, him begging to be on there, I don't think that's going to be the case. But anyway,
Kaz? Tell me why.
Anyway, but yeah, look, it's going to be a really solid lineup. So get your fucking tickets. Is there anything? Have you guys got anything special lined up for this show? Are you planning like debut any new songs or anything like that? Is there anything in the pipe where you might want to let people know about?
Yeah, we'll definitely be debuting a new song. We're actually just finishing off our next single, which should actually be complete within weeks. So
Awesome.
After that, it's really about planning the launch schedule and what we plan to do on it.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll definitely be there. And yeah, definitely be playing a few new tracks as well.
That's great.
The sort of, I guess the good thing about having almost 20 years of history is that we also have 20 years of songs that we never actually release.
Yeah.
So
we've written and you just never got around to playing or releasing.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, and they continue to evolve. Like the longer you sit with, these things, like you know, the way they started, say, you know, 2014 to where they are now, they've evolved dramatically. So yeah, there's a lot coming for the show itself. We're looking at doing some merch as well, actually inspired by yourselves, and you know, you've done those limited edition shirts and stuff.
Yep.
It's such a cool idea. I've always admired that you guys are very, you know, like you're very into the music, but you're also very into sort of the way you market yourselves as well.
Hey, that's
Attention to Rights are going to be one of the best
all
business focused band going.
That's all Kazzy, man.
Yeah.
Like that's all Kazzy. He's been busting his
That's how they
ass
got
around
that
this
Seven
stuff.
Dust show, mate. Kazzy does work, and Kazzy undersells himself so hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kazzy, you're the fucking man, bro.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see you back on stage
Well
again.
done.
Yeah,
Really good stuff.
That's been really, really good. I mean, the t-shirts look awesome. I'm fucking psyched, but except for that pink one that's just got Kaz and Ash on it. Fuck that one.
Yeah. I just have one question. Now, one thing I noticed from when I was watching in your video clips the other night is the production value in your recordings. Like, that's... Normally, when you see a video clip from like 2014 and say 2020, you notice a very vast difference in production value.
Yeah, sure.
You guys were like, it sounded like the first track I put on sounded absolutely amazing, and then the one, like that was the 2021 Kinesis, I think it was, and then the other one, I can't remember what the name was, but the recording quality, do you guys have like the one guy that you go to, or do you do it all in-house? Because that shit was amazing.
We yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So with Kinesis, and I guess End Oblivion, it's funny because a lot of the music we recorded in studio with the producer Darren Jenkins. So I don't think that he actually is doing music production anymore. But back in the day, he was actually in. I don't know if you guys remember a band called Cryogenic.
Yes, feels good to be a Wesley headbanger.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I used to have that shirt. That was like one of my first band shirts.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, he actually recorded the music, and we did it down in Fairy Meadow. The name of the studio escapes me now, but more recently, actually, our keyboard player Justin has been heavily involved in the recording process, the mixing process, and the mastering process as well. So, because he's kind of gone on to doing sound engineering. So, between then and now, we've kind of we have maintained the same kind of sound engineers, and probably moving forward as well, we kind of have the capacity to do it all in-house now. So that's kind of where we're heading.
Matt, don't fix what ain't broken. No, because your production value is just on point. Loved it. It was so good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much.
And it does always help having someone in-house. That just it makes it so much easier because you can get much more immediate feedback. You can get much more. You can be in the room for a lot more of the process in terms of mixing and mastering. You can be more involved in that process and get your head around the production in a different way, I guess, than if it's just off with someone else. You don't know where it's at. You don't know how long it's taking and how it's going. So,
absolutely,
it's all very.
And funny thing, actually, like if you compare it to our 2006 release, which was our original EP, Keeping Nothing. We actually felt that the production quality on that one was really good. And in fact, I was probably a little bit nervous that, what we came out with more recently may not actually be up to, at the same quality. Because that EP back in the day, we actually, we recorded with, if you guys are familiar with Super Heist and DW Norton, he was actually the one that produced that album for us, or that EP.
And Jenk with
With Jank support,
yeah.
Wow.
That's some solid connections there. That's really, really cool. I didn't realize that's fucking awesome. And look, I mean, I completely second what Kyle said about the production on that. It's absolutely off the charts in terms of, for a band that's like a local band, you just don't hear that sort of production very often. So it's really. It
just obviously shows the stature of your musicians that you guys are. You must be very easy to work with at the recording studio.
Well, I'm sure you guys have been in a recording studio.
Yeah, I was always inebriated, so I was a dick to work with.
Yeah. That, like, I feel like that in itself has evolved as well. I mean, the EP, it was all of us locked in a room together, either in the, you know, behind the desk, or like, you know, each of us doing our thing. Like when we're tracking and stuff, like it's so different. And I feel like nowadays, where we have the capacity to, you know, record in our own sort of home studios and like send ideas across and collaborate that way, it is just like, I think the first time that we did that, I was like, wow, this is so different. Like there's, you know, because there's the roller coaster of emotions when you're recording, you know, the EP. Like it was everybody's like pumped and super excited to be there. Then there's like the, you know, the times where everyone's just tired or like hungry and we've got to get this last part done, and like
you're on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. On
That's
the clock.
worse. That's the worst.
Yeah. But it's, you know, I suppose the way things are now, and especially with, you know, with Justin at the helm of, you know, doing a lot of those like the tracking and mastering and mixing and stuff like that. It gives the opportunity to be able to really contribute on a different level. Whereas, you know, back in the day, we had two very accomplished producers that were, you know, very honed in on their craft and had their way of doing things. And they were fantastic and took on our ideas and everything. But like now, I suppose it's the ideas that are coming forward are more formulated to who we are and you know, how we perceive that song to be in its end, you know, in its end stage. So
as long as he's willing to say no, you still need someone that's willing to just say no to some ideas.
Oh yeah, we say no. We say no to each other all the time.
And that's the
but
thing. I mean,
it's always a growing thing, you know, like and learning how to work together. It's not like, you know, you learn it once and then, you know, that's just how it's going to be every time you record. It always changes, you know, where we are in our lives, and you know what we work. Evolves.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Like different. I mean, different bands want different types of production. You know, some bands want to go in there with a producer and they say that, you know, they're a producer, but really they just want an engineer. They want someone who's going to hit the buttons and turn the knobs and get the good sound and just do what they say, and that's that. Some bands want a producer that's going to give feedback and push back on ideas and have some creative input on stuff. And when you're doing it yourself, you kind of have to be both roles. Because and I think that's a whole other struggle as well, because it's so easy when you're the producers to just get carried away with grandiose ideas, or not having that extra, you know, that extra set of ears, that extra mind thinking about it. You have to sort of almost step outside of the band and think about it as if you're not in the band. You know, and be
easy to do.
Like I've said, you know, like when we were recording the Skunkbone album that we released last year, like I said to the guys, I'm like, producer me is not the same person as band me. You know, and you have to, and producer me is not always the most pleasant person. I'm gonna drive you hard. I'm gonna tell you that you've got to work on this stuff. I'm super okay. Well, I'm gonna move it up closer to my face. Kazzy's just said I was particularly quiet, so I'll move the microphone up to my face.
I thought the sound was doing awesome. I've been checking the sound periodically.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kazzy just likes the sound of my sultry voice so much.
I'm just saying, I love it.
I'll get right up in there. Get the plosives going on with it.
Oh yeah, lick the mic. Lick the mic.
100. Oh wait, is this an ASMR stuff?
Yeah,
it can be now.
All right.
We like to keep it up.
So,
isn't that chick that eats a pickle?
So beyond,
I've seen that, and all she does is like she just doesn't chew with her mouth closed, and that's like
yeah, it's
50,000 views.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
So
yeah, bite that pickle, bite it.
So you guys have mentioned you've got that single that you're in the works of getting ready to release, and obviously we've got the Moshfest on High Street show. Beyond that, is there any plans you guys have got lined up that you can talk about? Anything that you want to sort of clue us in? What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like we're really looking forward to that show, and I mean, moving forward, we're actually looking at dropping a full length next year. TBC on the actual date itself, but it's going to be the first quarter of the year where we're actually going to be doing the full length.
So not long.
Not too long, yeah. We're actually pretty close. Actually, we've been doing a lot of groundwork in the last couple of years of not being able to go anywhere or not being able to do anything else. So yeah, pretty close. On the horizon. And yeah, beyond that, really now we're just kind of plotting out the schedule. Like we intend to be not doing too many shows, but sort of just strategically kind of moving up and down the East Coast and just getting our faces out there again. Yeah. I mean, the one thing to consider is, we've been away for quite a long time. So, yeah, we've been in the scene for a long time, but for all intents and purposes, we're kind of starting from scratch in a sense.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're kind of keen to jump on, more or less anything at the moment, just to sort of to get back onto the live scene and just to kind of reestablish ourselves. So
it's just fun. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I know that sounds, pretty cliche, but I think the essence of the whole thing, like, and one of the driving things, for most of us is just to be in it, to be a part of it, to be there, to either to watch, to, to play. Like we've made a point of, going out to see like a lot of bands like locally, just to really get back into the scene and to try and support it, because if we don't do that, like, we can't, I feel like people in bands, musicians, whatever form of music that you're in, whether you're a duo, you're a solo, whatever, we all should be doing that. We all should be going and supporting each other and just being a part of it, bearing witness to, hopefully the rise of it again, Yeah.
Well, I think
it's covered.
I've heard something I've heard from a lot of people that are in bands, they find that, and I've experienced this too as well, is when you're in a band, you think of a gig as work to a certain degree, right? Like you have to think of it. You're trying to treat it professionally, so you think about it as work. I call it going into my work brain. I switch over to my work brain and I'm focused on getting the job done. And it might mean that I'm unintentionally rude to some people. And if that's ever happened, if anyone's watching it, that's ever happened, I do sincerely apologize. It was not intentional in the slightest. But yeah, I think that for some of us, because that happens after a while, when we go to a gig, even just as a fan, we find ourselves switching into that work brain.
Because what's the sound guy doing? What's the light?
Yeah, and you're like, and you just like,
what are they rundown?
It's impossible to. It's really hard to turn off. At least I find for myself anyway. So it's tricky. Like I try and strike a balance. I do try and go to shows, but at the same time, it's like I have to try and pick shows. Like if I've played the venue recently, I find it's a lot easier for me to slip back into my work brain with it, because I'm like, last time I was here, last time I was at that venue, I was in work brain. So it's just, I think that is a struggle. And I've had a lot of musicians tell me like similar sort of experiences. And I think that's part of the problem. Going to gigs as a musician often feels like work, even if you're not playing the gig, because there's a sense of, okay, I should network. I should I should support people. Am I going to want to buy merch? Am I going to want to make connections with any of these bands? Am I going to want to make connections at the venue? Do I take promotional material for my band and hand that out? Do I? And it's such but I agree. Yes, we absolutely should be out supporting and going to shows. It's just something that's on the flip side of that is something that I've found, and a lot of people have said to me, is it's very easy for it to just feel like work, which makes it way less enjoyable.
That's like
I agree.
A schematic representation that we have, and I agree with you, because there are times where, especially if it's a venue that we're going to play, and we happen to be watching a show at that venue, I'm like, what does the sound like? What's what are the acoustics like in there? Is it built for this kind of a sound? There is that, but I feel I may be a little less professional, I guess, because I think...
I don't think it's about not being professional at all. Sorry to cut you off there. I don't think it's... I don't think it's a matter of not being professional in being able to have that enjoyment of it as well.
Yeah.
It's just what I've found and what a lot of people have said to me is that that's how they experience it.
Yeah.
And it's not.
We'll
like,
say that as the front person of a band, you are able to detach a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I totally agree. And like, also, I'm studying at the moment, so when I get to go out and I get to just go and enjoy time where I'm not reading scientific papers or like textbooks, I'm like, this is my time to switch off, you know? And I feel like that's probably got a lot to do with it, because a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at every day is super serious and, you know, like it's psychology. So I think that, you know, learning about the way that you interact in that sort of setting as well, like when you're going to see shows or when you're, you know, even just going, like when we went and watched Sleep Token, that was incredible. And it was just one of those things that I feel you also learn what you absorb. And one of the things that I thought was incredible about the Sleep Token show was just their lighting. Everything was flawless. I was looking for flaws at one point, because we all experience them. We all know that there's, you know, times where, you know, maybe the lighting's a bit skew if, or like, you know, the sound, you know, might not really be what we're looking for. But watching Sleep Token play their sort of last Sydney show, I was like, this is incredible. It gave me so many ideas. It met so many things that I didn't realise were important to me now in this iteration of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for that. It gives, you know, that it's that reciprocal thing again, you know, where it's the experience that you're learning from, you're absorbing things, you're in a very cathartic sort of atmosphere as well. Like, you know, feeling like although there is that element where there's a, you know, the professional side to it and thinking about those connections and you know, networking and things like that. I feel like there's also a really inspiring side. Like there's an element to it that I think really feeds you in that sense. So when you're ready to go back out, you're like, I really liked the, you know, the way that they interacted on stage. I'm not going to do that exact thing, but I feel like I'm going to try and move in that a little more. Yeah. Or, you know, just
definitely.
It's just great for ideas.
Oh, look, it's you know, all great artists steal from other great artists.
Not stealing. It's not stealing. It's emulating.
It's but you know,
it's not stealing. You emulate. I mean. It might not be the exact same, but you just do a little bit different.
But that's the thing. Yeah, like it's inspiration. As you might see something. You might encounter a band that's like, oh fuck, they're so good. They make me want to try even harder. And then you get then you got equal chance of encountering a band that's even further down that road. It's like, oh, they're so good. They make me want to quit.
Yeah, 100%. And that's like that element. We like what you're saying, like they're so good it makes me want to try harder. Like when we watched, sorry to keep going back to the Sleep Token show, but when we watched that, it was also one of the things that I really liked about their setup is obviously their anonymity, you know, so they're all wearing sort of fairly uniform masks, except for the lead singer, but they're all, you don't know who they are. You don't know you know, anything about the actual artists themselves. It's very kind of mysterious, I guess. And one of the things that gave me was it's so much more than here we are, here's our stuff. We hope you like it. We want to play it to you. We want to engage with you. It's so much more than that. I mean, so much of what they do as a band happens off stage. And what they create and the element of...
It's all about pageantry.
Yeah, pageantry, but I think it's also, like, if you look into them, they're genius. There's no photos of them. No one knows, like, the people that know who they are.
They took the Slipknot algorithm. Literally, it was like the first two albums. Nobody knew who the fuck they were.
Yeah. And it's such intricate music and like, from that element of, you know, oh, that's a really clever marketing idea, you know, there's that element of mystery. People are trying to figure out who they are. It drives up their internet searches. It drives up their, you know, their followers. It drives up anybody that's trying to know anything more than someone else about them, you know. So that was one of the things I thought was incredibly smart. And it was like, that's not something we can apply to us, but that kind of design, I guess.
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah, exactly. It just gives you so much to think about in terms of what you do as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, we'll move on to the first of our official segments here. But before
Just
we do,
hold on. Yeah.
before we do,
Do you want to read it? Or
yeah, no,
you gonna read it?
I'll read it out. So
I've got it. Yeah.
bit of love, some love for Hazard Halo there. Throwing a heart in the chat. Lovely to hear from you again, Craven. That's awesome. And Kazzy said it's true. Raph steals from me all the time, mate. Like. It's just what it is, okay? Like let's be real. I'm just a sexier version of you. So, like, let's no. I mean, look, it's imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Kaz. So that's what I'll say to that.
Exactly.
All right, so we don't, because we had some technical difficulties earlier. We don't have the normal cutaways, so we're just going to jump straight in.
Okay, just do it, and I'll try and mimic the voice.
You're going to mimic the yeah. All right, and go.
Is it the fuck off file? Fuck off file.
No, it's a quick question call. Oh, you fucked it.
Yeah, it's a quick. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Okay,
there you go.
So basically, Kazzy's gone, oh wow, I need a bassist. Ah, fucking hell. All right, so guess I'm fired. Anyway, so basically, for those who haven't seen us before, and for Antonamasia, for you guys, basically the quick question quarter. This is just some rapid fire questions. We're just going to run through them. We'll go through. You guys each can answer them, and we just want, the idea is quick question, quick answer. If just rapid fire moving through it. So let's just start, and we'll go through all of you guys. First instrument that you ever picked up.
It's a guitar. For me.
Keys.
Yeah, it was a little Casio keyboard as well, which had the little the attachment of the actual case as well. So
Nice. Nice.
and a built-in speaker.
I had a casino stage custom Strat style 6-string.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, first album purchase.
Ooh.
Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, and I stand by it, is still one of my favorites.
Hey,
solid fucking
good
album.
choice.
That's a
Good
solid fucking album.
choice. That album is a moment in
Boys
time.
Man,
That
Harmony.
What
Mine
was
was Kiss Alive too.
Kiss Alive too. What was your one?
Boys to Man, Cooley Eye Harmony.
that? Ooh, Boys to Men. All right, Kazzy, we
I'm
can't
not
play
even
that one.
embarrassed.
No.
Hey, look, some of that's the thing. These albums are, a lot of these are these iconic albums. We might look back at them now and go, "Oh, that was fucking stupid." But it was a moment in time. It was a point in history.
Exactly.
Right? It's
Yeah, and I listen to it even now. And that's
all right.
I love that shit.
So, what is an instrument that you've always wanted to learn but haven't had the opportunity to?
Cello.
Same. Likewise.
Wow.
I kind of did start to learn it, but I was little. I used to play the sax when I was in primary school.
So my fault.
Yeah, so it was a tenor sax though, and I don't know if you've seen me in real life, I'm very short.
Short.
I think it would have been nearly as tall as you.
Let's go short.
As a child,
There you go.
as a child it was.
How did you hold that up?
from here down to my knees.
Did you have a rest on the floor? Did you just
I had
sit on
a
the
strap.
floor? Oh,
I had a strap.
jeez.
I got as far as
Just resting on your
Bad
tongue,
Moon
just did it.
Rising. No, on my knee. On my knee, because it was like, yeah. But I used to play Bad Moon Rising. Got the Simpsons theme song down. Was pretty proud of that, and a few other things. But I gave it up when I was younger because it took a lot of breath to power, and
Yeah.
I didn't have very big lungs, so. But I'd
The
like to
author said the kazoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Recorder.
here's a good one. We're starting to get, so these, I'll let you know, by the way, these start easy and they get a bit more, a bit more
As we
challenging,
get
a bit more
harder.
complicated as we go down. So, next one, and you guys can answer this separately or all together if you have a collective decision. If you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, now this is living or dead, active or not, any band at any point in their career, if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be?
Linkin Park with Chester.
Good choice.
Ooh, good choice.
Does it have to Oh, see, I have too many questions.
Oh, it's anybody.
My brain goes in like categories.
Anybody you want. Anybody you
last
want.
week we had Dan from Red B who said Led Zeppelin. Like prime Led Zeppelin. He wishes he could open for them. So
Pink Floyd.
Who?
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, I'm split. I'm sorry, I'm giving two. I break rules.
Okay.
That's what I do. So
Look, I like a rule
Stevie
breaker.
Nicks,
Rules are made to be broken.
Stevie Nicks and Lacuna Coil.
Ganlord said $5 says Cass says Lacuna Coil.
Yeah! Fuck yes, I do. Fuck yes.
Those are all really, really good choices.
Fucking goddess.
Those are all really, really good choices. I like each and every one of those. Okay, who is a band or an artist that you're listening to right now that you believe is underrated and needs more attention?
I'd have to say Sleep Token.
Mm.
Not that they're underrated, but everyone needs to know about them.
Yeah.
All right, Sleep Token from all three of you? All right, I like that.
It's a difficult question.
Yeah, there's so many. So many. But yeah, that's one of the first ones that comes to mind.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, another one, Relica.
Relica.
Yeah, they were really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
They played with who? Who was it? They played with
Torrance
and
Silent Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some great, some big things around.
Is that
around Australia.
one of their songs, Broken Basilica? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Awesome band.
Yeah, it's worth a listen.
Very, very,
All right.
very good.
Lovely, lovely. You know, hey Kyle, by the way, sorry to interrupt here. I think we should do, Kyle, at some point is we should do a stream where we take all these bands that people have said they think are underrated and need more attention, and we go through and check them out. I think we should do a stream like that.
I reckon we do that.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay.
On that note,
I actually have a suggestion for another stream that we can do together afterwards.
Yeah.
Who remembers Video Hits? Does anybody remember Video Hits?
Okay.
Who wants to see an Aussie indie version of Video Hits that we do?
Ooh, that'd be good. But I'm
That'd
not,
be
I'm not
fucking
getting up at
heaps fun.
fucking 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning to do it.
No, it'll be Friday night or a fucking it'll be a night and we'll have drinks.
You can call it Rager instead of Rage.
Yeah, we can call it the Rager. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. What is next question? What is something people may be surprised to learn about you?
that I listen to a lot more hip hop than I do metal.
Love that.
What kind of hip hop do you listen to? Just out of curiosity.
More recently, I'm into a lot of like southern hip hop, like old school and between like 1980s to 2000s.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess to name a couple, Fat Pat, Big Mo, Little Kiki. There's probably a lot of names, that aren't flashing up, but UGK, a lot.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Probably what I'm most heavily into at the moment. Not to say I still love my metal, but yeah, sometimes you need, I guess,
the bounce that the hip hop brings into your guitar, it shows.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, straight up.
You need groove, like it's straight up.
You do, man. That's why I love new metal.
Anyone that I don't trust a musician that only listens to one style of music.
Yeah, I feel like when you're doing a lot of shows, like the first time around when we did the Keeping Nothing EP sort of tour thing that we did, we would find that we're getting in the car, like soul and swing and stuff like that is one of my favorites, I think, in terms of genres, but also vocal. It teaches you a lot about your vocals.
Yeah.
But we were getting in the car listening to, after a show where you've played with 6 bands with like crazy distortion, you get in the car and we're listening to Ray Charles and like Ella Fitzgerald and stuff like that. So love.
You got to detach from the work.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like a palate cleanser. So then you can kind of decompress and wind down. But yeah.
Awesome.
Love Ray Charles.
Awesome.
Love Ray Charles.
How good is he? Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right. What is? I want one from each of you this time around. What is the cringiest band name or song name that you've ever been involved with? Or lyric. We can say a lyric. I'm going to add lyric in there as an option.
It's the same one for all of us, I think. Destiny Destiny Unknown.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Relapse was pretty bad too.
Hey, that was a fucking
Let
great
it
name. What do you mean?
Thinking. And then there's. I mean, look. I think for the time, that was it did suit the kind of music we were doing at the time, which was very not the kind of music we're doing now. But you know, like
it's a part of your evolution. It's part of your evolution. Like everyone that's played music for an extended period of time, I think you know at some point you've got a song title or a band name idea or a lyric that you look back on and you're just like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Like alcohol, man. Music's like alcohol. You get so caught up in the moment, you're like, this is a fucking mad idea. And then 5 years down the track, you look back on it and you're like,
maybe not. Yeah.
Could have done that. Could have approached that a bit better.
Yeah, all right.
I think that was the exact motivation when we came up with that name too. Like, this is the best name ever.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, you guys.
Last question. And I definitely like, you can't just give me one answer for the three. I want three answers from YouTube. You know, one answer.
Okay.
Bring it.
Around. What is your most controversial musical opinion?
Wow.
We want those hot takes.
That mine probably that pop music is pretty good. I'm a fan.
All right,
Okay.
we just hit an ad.
I'm a bit of a fan of a bit of Taylor Swift.
We just hit an ad, have we?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. We're back. Oh wait, no, another ad. 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's playing a few ads.
5,
3,
4, 3.
There's 2 of 6.
What? Oh yeah.
So
Free to go.
it's supposed to do like 90 seconds of ads every.
so it's meant to do
every
3.
half an hour.
30.
It's not a number of ads. It's 90 seconds. So it might run a bunch of short ads, or it might run a couple of long.
I got 3 30-second ones.
We got 2 to go.
Yeah, that's all right. It's coming around. It'll come around in a minute.
All right, 12 seconds. All right. We've got to explain to everyone. This is how we're going to not work anymore and bring them content constantly.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely.
All right, so there was your ad break,
so
everyone.
All right, yeah. So by the way, guys, yes, now that we are affiliate, you will probably start seeing ads. We're going to try and tweak it and figure out the best. You know that still gets
work
us
in progress.
still gets us paid a little bit, but also isn't too disruptive for you guys. So we're trying to find a balance there. But yeah, so yes, what you were saying, your controversial musical opinions. You said that pop music's not that
More
bad.
than that, and I also think that there's nothing wrong with incorporating pop elements into metal.
I agree.
Man,
I 100% agree. Look, Tensions Arise at one point got shit from some people, a couple of people that were like these fucking metalhead elitists. And they were like, "Oh, it's bubblegum metal. It's like it's like basic bitch." I'm like, "And like, what's wrong with that? We're trying to have fun."
what was the last word in that? Bubblegum what?
Bubblegum metal.
So it's still fucking metal. Fuck off.
Whereas it's like, I think it's just I think it was just the simplicity of it, or the fact that we're like, there was a guy who was in like a death metal or a deathcore band, and you know, it is what it is. Like, he's allowed to like what he likes and dislike what he dislikes, and that's fine. But like I said before, I don't trust anyone that only likes one genre of music, or that can't think outside the box a little bit. If it's not to your personal tastes, that's fine. But to discard the legitimacy of it just because you don't like it,
Except for the latest Drake album, that can fuck off.
Come on!
I fucking hate that thing. That thing was a heap of shit.
All right, what else? What's the other two? Come on, we need these controversial opinions. We need people talking.
I think subgenres are bullshit, and they create a way for gatekeepers to like be like, "Oh yeah, you like this band? Name 9 songs. When did they come out? What was their first tour?" Like, if someone wants to like one fucking song from a band that they've heard one time, let them fucking like one song. But the whole subgenre, it's actually grindcore thrash death. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Let people enjoy shit without having to put a label on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. People can take it way too far. People can take it way too far with those.
Yeah, like, it's cool to have the definition so you can see interesting things about sounds, but it's like, it's not the fucking be all and end all, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
People should look at it like this. It should just be, I like metal.
Yeah.
It's a straight line, and then you just flick bands off.
Yeah.
That you don't like, and you just keep your line. It can all be different.
Absolutely. We've got a few people in the chat agreeing on that one. Ganloth said that impression was spot on. I'm assuming he means your gatekeeper impression.
Thank you.
Hazard Halo, my good friend Craven's coming with agree on the subgenres, too confusing, and Kazzy's gone, fuck yes, LOL. All right, so what sorry, mate, what were you going to say? Your controversial opinion?
I was going to say, my controversial thing is I don't rate new Slipknot.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
As in just the latest album or like the last few albums?
Last few albums.
Yeah, last few, I'd have to say.
I'm going to have to disagree on that last album. I'm definitely going to have to disagree with you on that one.
No, look, I'm with our guests. I'm with our guests. I think this time it's I personally, to me, I think the latest album sounds like almost like a collection of B-sides that they kind of.
That's what I love about it. That's what I love about it.
I agree.
It's different.
It's different.
It sounds like shit. That's what I love about it.
But
and that's okay. Like that's okay because like seeing an artist stretch themselves and do some unusual stuff, you're not going to like it all. It's cool to see what they do. I just honestly, this is going to be my honorable mention, and I'm probably going to get a little bit of hate for this, but Corey Taylor ruined Slipknot for me.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
How so? Can you? Tell us?
You're gonna have to elaborate a lot more on that.
Like in terms of his attitude outside the band.
Hearing him talk.
He's
okay.
Yeah,
this goes. No. This goes back to what I was saying about the mystery.
Yeah.
For me, Slipknot were all cool until they showed their faces. As soon as you personalized yourselves with the band. For some reason, it gave people a right to start bitching. When you didn't know who they were, you took it for what it was.
I think a lot of it too is there was a period of time, I don't know if you guys experienced this, but I'm pretty sure you would have. There was a period of time where every sort of heavier publication, whether it was like Kerrang or like Metal Hammer or like those online sort of things, it was every day what Corey Taylor thought about this, what Corey Taylor thought about that. And I know that's not exactly his fault, but it seemed like a thing that they were doing on purpose. And it like drove me nuts. And then also just like trashing other bands and shit. Like I know that's, it's a bit of a contradiction because I'm kind of doing that. But like it was more about that. You kind of forgot where you came from, man. Like
I think the media kind of made him the unofficial spokesperson for heavy metal in some ways.
Yeah,
and it's
the whole
you're
thing
right.
Is
that's
though
is
that Slipknot were never supposed to be a thing. That's what it really boils down to.
Like every day,
the thing is, like,
day.
9 people in a band touring internationally is not meant to be a thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't work.
It's logistically, it's fucking too hard. The fact that they actually broke that chain, and the only other band that could really ever do that was Gwar, and they have massive fucking shows. And if you really want to sort of take a timeline between Gwar, there was nothing really that theatrical and big, other than really, I guess, you sort of had Kiss, but in modern times, Slipknot was it. Like Slipknot is our Gwar.
Yeah. There's an incredible documentary about them. I think it was at Stan or
Paramount, I think.
Paramount. Sure. Incredible documentary about Gwar. They were, you get a chance, you should watch it.
Time for my favorite segment, I think. Let's jump onto that one. Do you want to try and do the voice this time, Kyle?
Flip the bird and everything. You ready?
All right, we're ready. Here we go.
Fuck off, Files.
Yeah. Okay. Boo. All right. So again, little rundown of this segment. Basically, as we kind of said before, you guys jumped on the thing. This is the fuck off files. So this is where you guys give us 3 things that if you could just snap your fingers and Thanos them out of the music business, literally any aspects of the music business, what would they be and why? Because we're time's starting to get away from us here. We'll get 1 from each of you, so we'll get 3 for the whole segment. And we just want to know what is it that you would fuck off out of the music industry, and we want to know why.
To be honest, there's probably not much I can really think of off the top of my head. I think generally what's going on in the music industry, there's probably things.
Just bear in mind that can be punters. It can be
anything big or small. It doesn't have to be like we've had people come on for an example. So you guys, and to give you guys a bit of time to think about it, we've had people come on and say like things like bands, where every gig they show up, like they show up an hour before they play, and as soon as they're done playing, they fuck off every single time. Or, like punters always, or your friend's always trying to get in for free. Or we had one fucking band, we had Chamberlain on, and they said slap bass, which I don't know why you'd want to get rid of slap bass.
You're still so filthy on that.
I am. I'm fucking dirty about that because I wasn't here to defend myself. But anyway, so that's some examples. So they can be big or small. It's whatever, just whatever's on your mind about it. Anything that if you could just get rid of it, what would it be?
Mid-strength drinks at festivals. Get rid of that. Yuck.
Okay. I mean, yeah, no, I agree. Look, if people,
Oh, beer, buddy. I love beer.
I understand that there's a need for responsibility, but like personal responsibility has to come into it too, I think. And people are gonna
lower the price if you're gonna lower the alcohol count.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I can 100% get on board with that one.
I fucking love that. That's one of the best ones we've had yet.
Of course, that's your favorite. Of course, that's your favorite.
I'd say venues that want bands to load out in the middle of the show, like straight after they play, they want them to load out.
Okay.
That I feel is like a massive distraction, especially when you have to load out. Like some venues, you have to load out through the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, I can see, depending on the venue size, I can see a reason for that. Like, it really depends. Like, if it's a small venue somewhere like Agincourt, it's a struggle enough trying to fit all your gear down there. Anyway, I can see why that'd be good. But yeah, if you have to load out through the crowd, it's absolutely very distracting.
At least if they're going to get you to that, get you to load straight out off the stage after you set.
Yeah, something like that's really, really, really handy. But all right, cool. No, that's all right. And what else? What's your one?
Just this whole focus on trying to make money. I know that sounds dumb because of the world that we're in, whatever. I know venues have to make money. I know, like, it's half of the reason why they put on bands, but I feel like when we were around the first time, back around the EP days, there was more of a getting music in there because people fucking loved music. You know what I mean? Like, venues were like, the people that sort of run the venues would come up to you and speak to you about it. They talk about, the music they love. Now it just feels like almost some venues almost seem like it's an inconvenience for you to be playing a show that they organised and booked you for, but it's like, it seems to be like they're shooting themselves in the foot, for one, and for two, it doesn't seem to be a lot of music lovers that are putting these shows on. Because some things I've heard from friends of ours that have played shows, they're like, they didn't want us there. Like one of the people that I had sort of spoken to about this, and I was like, it really does seem different. Like before.
Your answer made me want to change mine.
Well, then what? You can say it on mention. Go on.
Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna step away for a couple of minutes. Kyle will keep shit going.
I'll sort it
I'm
out.
stepping away just for a couple.
What's your other one? Go on. Keep it going.
To something that sort of like incorporates what you were saying, but the fact that you can be in a cover band, like a duo even, and play a show at an RSL where people are eating dinner, not even watching. It's a free show. You can get paid more than like a fucking bunch of original bands that are playing at a venue, and then have to bust up less money than I'd make playing a duo at an RSL while people are hunting. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't understand.
No, dude, I completely agree. Look, I back in my exist within days. I'm not going to mention the band. We played a show with the cover band. I think because we're having them on here. I had played a show with a cover band, and they were very good. Like, they were a very good cover band. Take nothing away from them. But on that particular night, they had asked us to if we could switch slots. So they had the headline slot, we had the post-headline slot. Yeah. So we're like, they're a cover band, they're going to be bringing fuckloads of people. And then they're like, "Oh, can we play before you?" And we're like, "You know, we'll do the right thing here. We're getting good with these lads. Hopefully, they'll try and stage us on later on. We let them play the show before us. Like, we let them take the slot before us. Only problem was everyone was there to see them. So as soon as they finished up, the pub fucking emptied out.
Yeah.
They didn't watch our set.
Yeah.
We played to a promoter, his missus, and 2 security guards.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And I think, and like going back to what you said about sort of cover bands like earning the big dollars, is that I feel like that if you are a cover band and you are sort of getting those decent crowds, it's your obligation to have local bands on your acts in front of you in order to draw crowd. Like, do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like it's kind of a bit. It's not a bitch out, but playing covers, it's not your own stuff. So if you're getting that caliber of show, the least you can do is try and lift local original bands up.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like talking about like a big cover band that's like sticking like to one band, or they're playing 90s hits or whatever like that. That's different. Like, I'm talking about
you're talking about those rissoles. You're talking about like playing in the rissole and like just the duos playing
or a trio.
yeah.
These guys get paid just as much, or if not more.
They probably do.
You know what I mean? It's it's a weird sort of
And something that comes into that too, I think.
Free show, people aren't even watching.
It goes off drink. The way it works though is it goes off drink sales.
Yeah.
So it'll be like while you're playing, you'll get 10% of the drinks sold. That's how it used to be. That's how it used to be back in the day. It used to be if you played at a venue, that the venue would organise the show. That's exactly right, and that was the best way to make money.
Yeah.
But also feeds back into that whole thing too. Like the principle of it, I understand, because a duo is one act and they're playing 4 sets or whatever, and they'll get paid. So the pay is kind of split between those two people, however they work it out. I know that, if there are 6 bands and then they make, a certain amount of money and that's distributed, there's obviously going to be less distributed between each. But I also think there's some serious fucking gouging that goes on as well. Like a venue that, again, a friend of ours, they was so heartbroken because they were really looking forward to playing this venue. And then they got gouged for a sound guy they didn't use. They got gouged for some other added security costs. They got gouged for this whole thing. And so bands walked away with practically nothing.
Wow, you were literally walking out the red.
The drink, yeah, and it was ticket sales only, so they didn't get a cut of the bar. And there were heaps of people there, and for some reason they only had minimal ticket sales. So it's really odd, like how that works. You can walk in.
Venues are taking advantage now of bands because they're so desperate to go back out and play.
You have to take what you can get now with some things. I know that it's changing slowly, but
not that it's even about the money, but like some of these bands that we've got around, I don't know, they deserve to get paid.
It's the thing.
And not only that, but it's covering their trip home sometimes. Like they're traveling interstate.
I think it's not about like most people that are in bands. I don't think I'm out of line to say this. Most people in bands at our level that are doing this, they know that they're not going to, they're not going to get out there and make, thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
especially in fucking heavy metal.
But if we wanted to make money playing music, we wouldn't be playing metal. Like, let's
fucking
be
DJ.
Honest, we wouldn't be doing metal.
We've said this before, Raf.
But we're out there doing it because it's the music that we love and we want to play that music. And
100%.
And we want to entertain people.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't get paid fairly for what we're doing. And this is where I think Music Australia is making progress. I mean, we're pushing hard. They recently got approved like a minimum payment for shows, but it's very narrow criteria. It's like it has to be a government funded show, and it's a requirement that the government's going to pay a certain amount if they, for a minimum amount of time played, but the minimum amount of time is like 2 hours or something. So it's not like a kind of show that we would do. They're talking about. It's like if it's if it's an event that's funded by government money and you have someone there playing music for an extended period of time as a part of that, But even then, I think it just comes down to like bands just want to be paid something. We want to be paid enough that our fuel,
At least to get home.
Our fuel, our meals,
and
maybe a couple of drinks. Yeah, go for it. Our fuel, our meals, and maybe a couple of drinks, and we're good, right? Like I think most bands will be reasonably happy with that. Like it's not, and the fact that most venues can't even meet that, it's just fucking
And then they treat. And some, and it's like this one I keep going back to because I was just really shocked to hear it, to be honest. But it was, this one venue that made them feel like shit about asking about it too. Like, why is it something that they have to even chase? Like, if you're a band that's traveling interstate to play a show, like, fair enough, that's not the venue's thing, but I don't know. I just feel like the spirit of it is different. I suppose that's a better way to say it. Like that was my gripe, is that it's changed, like measurably changed from, a long time ago, where people that were booking these shows and running these venues, it's because they really fucking love music.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just an option to make more drink sales,
Yeah, and that's where I think, I've not been to any shows at High Street Social, but from what I understand, the people running that venue are trying to push really hard to get it going as a live music venue, to try and revitalize live music in Penrith. It's quite similar to what was happening at Tattersalls several years ago, when they had a couple of ladies that were running stuff at Tattersalls, and they were really pushing to make Tattersalls a live music venue in Penrith. And it was going well. Like there was some amazing shows were taking place there. They were willing to pay reasonable amounts to bands because they knew what that would bring in most of the time. And you're going to get those bands that take the piss, and I guess it's, and that's unfortunate. But because some bands take the piss is no reason to not pay all your bands fairly, I think. And this is and I think this is just what it comes down to, is like most bands just want a fair go, and most venues don't seem interested in providing that. Which, and I don't know what the solution is. Like I think finding the solution is a lot harder than just than a few people sitting around on a podcast having a whinge about it. But it's. I
mean, it's changing. It's like with the shows that we've played. Honestly, it's always been. It's been a good experience. You know what I mean? The venues that we've played at, again, a lot of that has to do with stuff that's probably not to do with the venue, which is the vibe in there and the people you're playing with. And, I think there is sometimes like a bit of a weird competitiveness that can be observed in some spaces, but it's not. I feel like the evolution of it, we're probably standing at maybe not the start of the evolution of it, but hopefully we're, climbing in on this momentum that's going to, going to evolve into something that's more fluid for artists.
You guys would have been around, obviously, you guys would have been going to gigs back in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, and the vibe, the good vibes, like the good energy that was around the place back then, right? I feel like I've seen this countless times on here. It seems to have swung away from that through the course of the 2010s, but
100%.
Either because of COVID or because it's naturally just the cycle of time, it does feel like things are starting to move back towards that again.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping,
I agree.
I'm hoping it's a good sign. I'm hoping the trend continues. I'm really hoping that we see, more venues. Like I'm hoping Sydney sees some more venues opening up that are willing to put on bands. I saw Frankie's is closing down now as well, which that's another one that's crossed off the list. Like I don't even know where's left to play now.
Well, fortunately, they have the Burdekin Hotel on Oxford Street.
That's
Burdekin Hotel.
King's Heats were that.
Yeah. Okay. So those first Sydney heats were Kerosene, Weightless, and Ghost Complex. I've had Weightless and Ghost Complex on the Beer Buddy podcast before. Stand-up dudes, absolutely awesome musicians. Just can't stand how they don't play with any amps on stage.
That's the old man yells at cloud. Come on.
Yeah, well,
Get with the times. Get with the times, Kyle.
that's what I actually wanted to ask you, Raph. Do you actually think that maybe we're just the old men that yell at clouds now in the scene when we go to these things, and because it's not like it was the way it was when we were in it, but now it's evolved into what it is now.
Man, look, let me tell you. Like, I've played a show in like, when was it? Must have been like 2015, 2016, I think. It was when I was in Acid Nymph and we were doing the tour with Tensions Arise. And we played a show in Wollongong. And I can't remember which band it was. But the fucking guitarist for one of these bands had not just a quad, he had a full, like, double height stack.
Oh,
on
shit.
Stage in this fucking venue in Wollongong.
Was that the little pub that used to play? That used to put the shows across from the kebab shop.
It wasn't the the pub that we played a bunch of times. It was somewhere else. But
okay,
it was like, yeah, this dude had like a double height stack on stage for his thing, and no point did the sound guy go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, and go, "You're not using that on my stage." I'm like, why do you need that? Like, who fucking needs that? I'll be honest, man, like, and maybe, I don't know if it's because you're a singer and you didn't have to deal with this shit, but lugging gear fucking sucks.
Oh, no, I used to get made to fucking have to lug all the gear up with the boys, man. Like, that was the... sucks.
And the less gear I can fucking carry, the less gear I can have to fucking worry about, the better.
Well, that's where DIs came into it for bass players, man. Like, DIs for bass players were just like a godsend.
And, I mean, I'm like, you know, I'm screwed either way, because, like, I've got... You know, even if there's a cab provided, which up here cabs are provided way more frequently than I ever found in Sydney. I don't know if it's become more common in Sydney as well, but so I can take basically my double bass bag, which I can throw on my back, and my pedal board, and gear-wise, I'm set.
Yeah.
But then I've got merch and cameras and fucking field recorder to get our audio and stage banners and all this, you know, all this other shit that somehow I end up having to lug around as well, because it's just the kind of person I am, and I'm like, I don't trust that anyone else is going to bring it if I believe it to be their responsibility.
Man, that's what we did.
Like that.
We had that run of shows with Red Sea,
yeah,
or formerly known as Domino.
Yep.
And we done a run of shows. We did Canberra. We did Canberra, Wollongong, and somewhere else. And we had to lug everything into a trailer. We're only taking one car. Someone had a trailer. And when you're loading it, you're like, is this seriously what we fucking take every time we play a show?
Yep.
And I felt bad for them because I carry my little bag with my microphone in it. I'm just like, okay.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a drummer's wife too, so it's like we tag team.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
All I remember was having to help my old bass player Randy drag that damn Ampeg fridge up and downstairs every fucking show.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. If honestly, like,
it
if I could,
sounded great. Like, it was worth it when you got it up there.
I know a lot of sound guys are more accepting of guitars going straight into the desk now. In terms, you know, if you can get like a Kemper or you got a nice Line 6 Helix or something there. I don't know many of them that are comfortable doing that with bass just yet. But sorry, what do you want to? What do you got to say? Sorry, I was.
Yeah, you forgot when you mentioned the big three, Fractal Audio.
Sorry, what was?
Practical
Audio.
Yeah, it's just one of these things, and I mean, I'm Kyle's very much like, no, you need amps on stage. Kyle's very much that kind of thing.
I am, but I'm a singer, so all I'm looking for is that vibration up on the stage with me.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the front of house sound. I'm just worried about what's around me on stage.
All right. Well, I think we've been. This has been awesome, but I think it's time for us to wrap things up. We will just jump to the chat real quick. Ganlorth said, "I'm surprised Sam's." We're talking about the fuck off files here. I'm surprised Sam's answer wasn't venues that have a dress code, e.g., no tank tops.
Oh, fuck yes! Oh my god!
And Ganlorth has also chimed in.
They weren't gonna let me in.
Nothing beats the look of a full setup on stage from a muso
Thank
standpoint.
you.
I love to check out other people's gear at shows. I mean, Ganlorth, I agree, but again, it's if you're having to do it every fucking night, if you're having to go
Oh,
on
it
tour with
sucks.
it sucks. It's way easier if you can minimize it. So
Sucks like a big one.
right,
Less is look. At the end of the day, less is more.
let's take it home. Let's take it home.
You don't want to hear my rant?
Oh man, we're running out of time here.
No, okay, we'll save
kept these
we'll
lovely
save the
people
next
long
one.
enough. We've kept
We'll
these
save for
lovely
the next
people
one.
long
We'll save
enough.
for the next one. I've got a good one.
So, right, coming back around here, as we've said, the Moshfest on High Street show, Saturday, 4th of February, at High Street Social. Again, I'm dropping the ticket link in the chat.
Do that shit.
Go and get your tickets if you haven't already. Buy your tickets already. As we said, we don't know how long they're going to last. And if you want a nice, shiny new Tensions Arise t-shirt, I'll put the link in there as well for that.
You get your limited edition Kazi and Atron on there too.
Yeah. And yeah, order them now. Order them before the 5th of December because that is the cutoff for the pre-orders so that we can ensure they're ready in time for the show. You can have them shipped to you or you can pick them up from the show if you're going to be there. So make sure you get in and do those orders ASAP, guys. Anything that you guys want to plug before we take it home?
Not really. Check out the new video clip and yeah, keep your eyes peeled for upcoming music before the end of the year.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Kyle, mate, what have you got lined up for us? What have you got lined up going forward?
I've got diddly squat lined up. I've got diddly squat. My beer drinking has just been VB.
Ugh.
But you know what I am going to have? I'm going to have Disgust on Beer Buddy, and we're going to be going through all their video clips, all their cool stuff, all their cool stuff.
Sorry, I think we've gone to another ad again.
We have.
Let's just let that run.
Sure. Yep.
Let's let that run.
No, I've got to. No, that's.
We're supposed to. When I set that up, it is supposed to give me like a. I thought it was supposed to give me a indicator of when we're going to an ad, but I think that only itself.
It does have a little pop-up in the corner that says Two Dudes Talk Music is taking an ad break. Stick around to support the stream.
Yeah, so on the stream, it
Ah.
comes up on the stream, but not like on my in my app that I'm streaming from. So that's why I keep missing it. But that's okay. We're trying to figure out how to run ads on command, so that way we can go, all right, we're going to take an ad break, click the button, and then we got like 3 minutes to go to the loo, refresh our drinks, whatever. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, I think we've got about another 30
That's
seconds.
the cool thing that you guys have going on here,
man.
It's Rafa asking to do something together has been the best thing that's happened here. It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know if our audio is still coming through there. I think Iron Wombat can still hear us, so I don't know if that's
they can.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't even know how that works, guys. This is literally our first day being affiliates, so we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's all work in progress. But we want to get.
There we go. We're back with that. So if you subscribe, you dodge ads. Okay, awesome. So
yeah, I'm honestly really want to try to get back into the beer reviews before the end of the year. I'm going to Fiji in December.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be checking out some of the beers over there, and I'm hoping in the island that I'm on, I can go check out some fucking local music because that's what I'm really interested in. I want to go get some nice video of some local music out there. That's what I'm really interested in Fiji.
Awesome.
So that'll be coming up.
That's looking good.
And then February you'll see the full film, full lineup. My camera's going to be everywhere. She's going to be fucking annoying the shit out of people all fucking day.
Absolutely. Kyle's going to be down there taking care of shout outs and streams and videos and stuff. I'll probably be doing some of that at least for a little while until it gets close to the tension set. In terms of what we've got coming up here on the channel, I think those regular Tuesday night practices are going to be a thing.
Cool, man.
So if you like watching me struggle to play some songs, tune in. Make some suggestions. If you tune in and you subscribe, I'll let you pick a song and I'll try and learn the song.
Ooh.
Yeah, how's
I'm
that?
picking something by Periphery.
Oh, mate. Have a heart. Have a heart. Okay.
You got it.
I will always love you. That sounds like something you'd crush.
Yeah. I'll try and get the swells going on with it and everything. That's pretty good. I'm not not doing that.
Liquid tensions experiment, eh?
Yeah. So, but we will be continuing with our weekly live streams, such as this one. Next week we have Brad from Mechanical Embrace, Damage Inc., Foundry Road, Acid Nymph. He's going to be coming on to talk all about what he's been doing and the Tensions Arise show again, because Mechanical Embrace are playing on that one. I think the week after that is the week Kyle's away. So what's probably going to happen? I'll probably come on. We'll make it we won't have a guest, or maybe I'll have a guest co-host come on for it. Maybe
you know what? Let's work out the time difference, and I can sit around the pool, but the swim up bar.
Yeah, see if we can make it work. And we'll just make it pretty chill. We'll have we'll check out. We'll go through all the bands that are on this Moshfest on High Street show. We'll play some video clips. We'll check some stuff out. We'll do all of that good stuff. We have a very special thing that we've started to plan for the end of the year. Ooh. We have a really, really special thing we're working on for like the last stream of the year. So do keep an eye out for announcements around that one. We will actually talk to the Antonamasia guys after we're off stream and let them know what's up with that, because we're basically going to try and get some return guests to come back. Once again, we did have some technical issues at the start of the show, so I don't know how many.
Very sorry, that's my fault.
This announcement, but yes, we are officially affiliate on Twitch now,
that's all because of you lot.
Ads, and that's thank you so
you
much
fucking
to
legends.
Yep, all you people that have subscribed, that have tuned in and watched, that have engaged with the chat. Thank you so much. This now means we can sort of start monetizing things a little bit, try and get, just a little trickle of money coming through from it, which helps so much, because it means that we can, means Kyle can afford some beers for the stream. And
we can pay to go to all these shows that are coming up.
And we can like go to all these shows that are
more gig reviews.
Absolutely. So again, thank you so much. If you do want to pay to subscribe, so it's free to follow the channel, obviously, but if you really like what we're doing and you want to support us a bit more, you can subscribe. There's a monthly subscription there. I think it's $7.99 a month for the first tier. Means that you don't have to worry about seeing ads. It gives you custom emotes that you can fucking drop in chat. You get little special markers there. So it's all good. It's awesome. Everyone gets to see how special you are. And look, again, and you can also do...
What are the tier systems we got? What are the names for it?
Oh, my God. Well, hang on. What did I set them at? Let me find it. Because we're not boring over here. We're not just boring.
Yeah, no, we got to go on. We got to go on.
So what did we have? Let me find it. Hang on. Right. So we have tier 1. If you were a tier 1 sub, you were an official groupie. If you were a tier 2 sub, you are the dudest dude. And if you were a tier 3 sub, you were an absolute mad lad. So there we go. That's what we've got. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much to our guest, Antonamasia, for coming on. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much, Antonamasia.
Anytime you guys have anything you want to talk about, anything you need to plug, feel free. Hit us up. We're absolutely happy to have you on. Don't jump off the call once we end the stream, because we will have a little bit of a debrief. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to our awesome guests. Thank you to my co-host, Carl. Thank you for everyone jumping in the chat.
Thank you, Raf.
And as always, look, we talked about it a little bit today. The world's had a real rough go the last couple of years. There's a lot of really shit stuff happening out there. It's just, please, let's be kind to each other. Let's help each other, support each other as much as we can. Because I tell you 100%. What, if more people were doing that, the world would be a hell of a lot better place, and we wouldn't have quite as many of these issues as we're dealing with. So, yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and we will catch you guys next time. And I have to end the stream, not Kyle. So, thank you very much, guys. Catch you later.